Okay, you got a whole list of tasks to do, and it looks like 20, 30, 40 tasks to do tomorrow, today, the next day. Got all these tasks to do. How are you going to get all these done? There's so many of them, and yet you know it's going to take so much time to do each one, and then you got to take phone calls, you got to go call people, you got to go do this, you got to go do that, you got to go to lunch, you got to go, well, heck, you got to get off sometime in the day so you can go home and get a break so you can come back the next day and do it all over again and do a whole bunch more tasks. How do you handle all these tasks? Well, we're going to talk about that by doing time blocking. Time blocking is a way to schedule out each day of what you're going to be working on until you finish all your tasks throughout the week. And we're going to do that right now. Engineers have a lot of tasks to do. Most of it is actually design work and calculations and setting and constantly concentrating on what you're doing to make sure you get things done right. But there's a lot of interruptions all through the day. You got phone calls, you got people coming in your office asking you questions, you've got answers that you need that you're going to be calling people for, and all this takes away time away from doing the actual work that you do. Even if you're writing reports, you got to concentrate on writing those reports, setting up the graphs that you need for the reports, setting up the calculations that you need to put in the appendix, on and on the list goes. So many tasks to do. So how do you handle all of this? Well, for most of us, we sit down, we just try to work through the day and hit the highest priority first, and then if we can get all those done, then we hit the next priority list and go on down the list, but it seems like we never actually finish the task, and it's very stressful, and by the end of the week, it seems like there's still more left to do. An easier way to look at this instead of looking at tasks is looking at blocks of time to work on your various tasks. Blocks of times that can be adjusted as you move through the week or rescheduled throughout the week so that when you have the time to work on those various things, it gives you an overall picture of what your actual workload is for the week. Instead of looking at 40, 50 tasks of tedious work that you got to do for the next week, which can be very overwhelming, instead you got a nice planned out schedule for the week. And if need be, you even have some buffers along the way that you can work on some things that you didn't finish earlier in the week. And it also helps you in time blocking to meet those schedules. What we like to do is give you some tips on how to get started on time blocking. And then once you get used to doing time blocking, it will take over your life because you'll find that you'll get a lot more done and not as stressful. Tip number 1, to get used to time blocking, first let's start with one day of the week. Let's set out on Friday afternoon right before you leave for the day and set out what you're going to be doing on Monday. Just Monday alone, just one day. And only maybe pick a couple of time blocks. Each one may be 30 minutes, an hour long. And then make sure that when you get to Monday, you actually do those time blocks and nothing else. Just concentrate on that specific block of time. Let's say it's to write a drainage study. Well, only you will work on is a drainage study for 2 hours. You will take no phone calls. You'll have no one coming into your office. You put a sign on your door, say, "Do not bother me. I'm at work right now," or whatever you want to put on your door, but have no interruptions for those 2 hours. Don't even look at your emails. Just work on your drainage study. After the 2 hours, then go ahead and do whatever next is on your list to do. If you put 2 of those blocks and on Monday, each one for 2 hours, make sure you do both. And you'll be amazed how much work you can get done with no interruptions whatsoever, and then still leave time to do other things like read your emails and answer the emails. The next tip I have, when you're estimating how much time it takes to do a task, it's surprising how long it takes to do something if you've never actually tracked time before. Doing a drainage study, often for me, it takes 3 days to write a drainage report completely from start to end, but that's with interruptions. How much time does it need to actually write a drainage study with no interruptions? Well, I can do a drainage study within 24 hours, okay? So you break that out, 3 days. And that's no interruptions whatsoever. You may find that you can write a drainage study in maybe 10 hours. Depends on where you're at, if you can do a drainage study in 10 hours. Some entities don't require as much as other entities. you know how long it takes. If you estimate 10 hours, so today you put 5 hours down for Monday to block out an amount of time of 5 hours to work on a drainage study, and Tuesday 5 more hours to work on a drainage study, that would mean that you would finish on Tuesday afternoon. Whereas you might be used to being taking a whole week to write a drainage report, you could actually do it in 2 days. But what if something comes about on Tuesday that you got to go to a meeting, or there is an emergency that you got to go deal with a design issue in the field? You can adjust, take some of that time off of your time block on Tuesday and put it onto Wednesday. And so now, you know you're still going to finish by Wednesday. Instead of that whole week to write the drainage report, you're still going to finish much earlier than what you normally do. So what if you thought it'd take 10 hours, but when you actually sit down, concentrate, and work on it, it took 15 hours? Instead of finishing on Tuesday now, you got 5 more hours you're going to have to block out for Wednesday to finish that drainage study. Or maybe you have to split it up to 2 hours on Wednesday and then 3 more hours on Thursday. In any case, you are setting an amount of time and nothing else are you going to work on during that time block. The next tip is don't schedule a full 8-hour day on one task. It's called burnout when you do that, because then you have no time to do anything else. You can't look at your emails. You can't answer any phone calls. You can't even go to lunch hardly. All you do is working all day long on that one task. So it's important to break it into smaller groups, 4 hours in the morning, maybe 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and then a little bit the next day to get to full 8 hours. It gives you time then to look at different things and get your mind off of it for a while and work on some other tasks that you may have. You've been getting value out of this video, so please go ahead down below and hit that like button. That tells us that we're doing a good job and we're providing videos that really are helpful to you and what you want to see more of. So please go ahead and hit that like button. Also go down below and subscribe to our channel. That way you'll see all the different types of videos that we've uploaded to our channel and we want you to see also. Hit that notification bell over there. Every time we upload a new video, you'll get notified. The fourth tip is to buffer time around your blocks. In other words, put 30 minutes between each block on your schedule. If you spend 2 hours in the morning on a drainage study, wait 30 minutes then until you start reviewing emails for that morning. That way you have a little bit of time in between. If you're going up 2 hours and you're ready to stop and you say, well, I can go another 30 minutes and I can still check my emails, then you can buffer out and go that long. But what if something else comes up that morning that someone needs to talk to you first thing in the morning? Well, then you got that 30-minute gap there that you can pick up the phone and talk with them. So that's the reason why you want to put some time in between your blocks. Tip number 5 is that you want to kind of schedule around your energy levels. You may find that you are great at working in the morning, but by the afternoon you don't want to work as much. You don't work as hard. Your brain kind of settles out or something. It just kind of goes wonky in the afternoon. So it may be better to get most of those very difficult tasks done in the morning time. So you want to block those times every morning to finish that task on time by the end of the week. Or you may be an afternoon person, someone that after they eat lunch, they come back and they're full of energy and they're ready to take on those harder jobs. Each person's different, but if you know yourself and when you work better on harder tasks, then you want to schedule those blocks around those high energy points that you may have. And then you may want to answer emails or answer phone calls or return phone calls during the lower energy points of the day. Tip number 6 is that as you go through the week, you want to adjust your blocks. You may find that on Monday, you didn't quite finish that drainage report, so you need an extra 2 more hours on Tuesday. So you take a look at your blocks and see if you can make some adjustments, move some of the other things around so you can get that extra 2 hours, and then only work on your drainage study during that 2-hour period to get it done. And then you can work the other blocks also throughout the day. So every day you're making an adjustment. Blocking, it isn't a concrete schedule. It's there to give you an overall view. The main thing is it allows you to make adjustments as you go to your schedule so that by the end of the week, you've completed all your tasks. Tip number 7 is don't overblock your calendar. Don't overblock Don't overblock your calendar. In other words, don't put too many tasks down. You want to put the main tasks that you're working on down on the schedule. All those tasks that you know is going to take 30 minutes or longer to do. The other ones that can take 10, 15 minutes, you don't need it. That's why you got the buffer between your blocks. When you have some time where you're not working on one of the blocks right now and you can say, hey, this takes me on about 5, 10 minutes to review a set of plans and sign them, then that's when you want to do that. But you don't want to overbook your schedule for the week to make it so crammed full of blocks that you're just moving from one to the next all through the day and you're exhausted by the end of the day. That's not the good way to do it. So leave some time. Blocks are to be in generalities. So these give you an idea of what you're working on throughout each day of the week. Tip number 8, don't review your emails the first thing in the morning. Why you don't want to review your emails? Well, because the first thing happens is that you just created more tasks for yourself for that day. You've added more tasks. And you're already coming in energized to do one task because you know what the first task is going to be for the day. And now you got a whole bunch more. First, let's give ourselves some little success, okay? And that is to finish that first task off in the morning, whatever it may be. Maybe it's go out and go for a run around the block, or go exercise, lift some weights, or maybe read a book for 30 minutes in the morning or an hour, whatever the block is for. But let's complete that first task. Then once we have that done, then if you have time, let's look at the emails, make sure all those are taken care of. And then only prioritize the ones you absolutely have to do today. Otherwise, the rest of the tasks, just add them to your task list, and we'll take care of those another day on the calendar. Task number 9, only put blocks of time that are 30 minutes or longer. Shorter tasks, it clutters up your week. So you just put the longer tasks that you need to do. Like I said, if you need to just return a phone call to someone real quick, that's not a task that you need to put down on a block task that you need to put down on the calendar. But those tasks that are going to take a lot longer to work on, the 30 minutes or longer, write a letter, write a response letter, put together a package to go for submittal, all those things take longer than 30 minutes. That's what you want to put down on your calendar. So you block out that time, and you know when you're going to get it done. And anybody comes by and asks you when you're going to have certain things done, you can look at your calendar. It'll be done by this time on Wednesday or on Thursday. We know when it's going to be done. That's very well scheduled out. As you're getting these tasks from your emails and from all of your projects and everything, you want to upload your tasks onto a program like Microsoft Projects, Asana, Trello, ClickUp, and numerous other applications that you can find on the web. This allows you then to keep track of the tasks that you've done and those tasks that are coming up that you need to have done. All in the time blocking on your calendar, what you want to do is put that either on something like on a Google Calendar or any other type of calendar that you may have. Even if you have to write it down on a piece of paper, what you plan to do out for the day and next day, blocking out times during the day that you'll be working on that. The advantage of putting it on Google Calendar is that then you'll be notified each time a block is coming up, and so you can get yourself ready to go for the next block of the day. Remember to go down below and subscribe to our channel, and so that way you'll see all the various types of videos that we have on the business of engineering. On the side here, you'll find another video that we recommend you to watch next to help you grow as a project engineer and as a project manager. So until the next time, see you on the next video.